The river never asks the mountain to move. It simply flows, carving its path with patience and power. And yet here you are, weary from waiting, anxious from lack, caught in a cycle of asking, when will my breakthrough come? When will my life finally reflect the abundance I've prayed for? You feel the weight of bills pressing in. You feel the ache of time slipping by, wondering if opportunities have passed you over. You've worked, tried, hoped, and still the question echoes. Why not me? Why not now? But what if the answer was never about effort? What if you are not out of blessings? You are simply out of alignment. What if money, love, opportunity, and freedom have been circling you all along, waiting for one simple shift inside of you to finally unlock their flow? Let me ask you something soul deep. What if abundance is not something you chase, but something you tune into? Just as a radio catches a hidden frequency when the dial is set right, what if the wealth you long for already vibrates in the field around you, waiting, resonating, calling? This is no empty promise. There is a hidden law, ancient and eternal, that governs the way blessings arrive. Most people block it without realizing by clinging to fear, repeating words of doubt, and holding on too tightly to struggle. But those who discover it, those who dare to release resistance and step into alignment, find themselves carried by a current so powerful it feels miraculous. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not cursed with the flow of money, love, and divine supply is closer than your breath. Tonight, as you listen, you will be guided back into harmony with it. You will awaken to the truth that you are not a beggar at the gates of abundance. You are the keyhole. Here is the bold promise. If you open your heart, if you align your word and your belief with the divine rhythm, you will see money move toward you, not in years, not in months, but within days. You will feel the shift inside before it shows outside, and that inner alignment is what bends reality in your favor. So release the tension in your chest. Release the question of how. Trust, just for these few minutes, that you are not here by accident. You were guided to this moment, to this teaching, to this frequency, because your supply is ready to find you. Stay with me. In the next breath, you will discover the law, the frequency, and the sacred alignment that dissolves struggle and opens the way for wealth to arrive. The river moves without force. It bends around stones, glides over roots, and never questions its own path. It does not hurry, yet it always arrives at the sea. Wealth, too, is meant to flow in this way. But so many of us stand in the middle of the current, hands clenched, hearts tight, whispering, "Why is nothing coming to me? Why does it always pass me by?" Have you felt the weight of waiting? The silent fear of never having enough? Have you laid your head on the pillow at night, hoping tomorrow will be different, and yet awoken to the same shadows of lack? Tonight I ask you to consider, what if the words you speak are the very keys that open or close the gates of your abundance? What if the sound of your voice carries the same power as the current of the river, directing wealth exactly where you allow it to go? There is a divine law, eternal and unchanging. Your word is your wand. What you speak with conviction shapes your world. Yet so often, people use their words against themselves. They murmur of poverty, they declare delay, they claim failure, and the law obeys. They block the current by speaking of lack. To realign, you must become deliberate. Every word must carry the vibration of plenty, of certainty, of faith. When your voice declares abundance, your reality cannot help but follow. Affirm with me now, slowly, as though your soul is breathing. I speak words of wealth, and wealth obeys me. I speak words of wealth, and wealth obeys me. My word is a channel for infinite prosperity. My word is a channel for infinite prosperity. Every declaration I make opens the floodgates of abundance. Every declaration I make opens the floodgates of abundance. My tongue shapes gold, my voice carries power. My tongue shapes gold, my voice carries power. I remember the countless souls who whisper in despair, "But I have said the words and nothing changed." They forget the law is not activated by shallow recitation, but by faith and consistency. The river does not surge at once, it carves stone over time. Speak, not as a beggar requesting alms, but as a sovereign declaring truth. Say, "I am wealthy," not to convince yourself, but because wealth already exists within the unseen, and your words summon it into the seen. Think of it this way. The seed beneath the earth carries life before any green appears. When you water it daily, You do not despair that nothing shows. You trust the rhythm of nature. So too must you water your life with words of abundance, trusting the unseen law. Your word is not a will, it is a command. It is not a plea, it is a decree. And so tonight, before you sleep, let your last breath carry words of wealth. Whisper them, as rivers whisper to the sea. Let them echo through your subconscious, until the dawn carries new proof. Your words are not small, they are creation itself. Now imagine the wind at twilight. It sweeps gently across the land, unseen yet undeniable. It cools the skin, stirs the trees, and carries seeds across miles. You cannot catch it, yet you know it moves. So too does assumption move unseen forces in your favor. What you assume to be true becomes the ground upon which your reality is built. Yet how many live in the shadow of false assumptions? They assume money is scarce, that wealth belongs to others, that success is slow, that miracles are rare, and so their lives mirror their false belief. The divine law of assumption is simple. What you accept inwardly, you will experience outwardly. To assume lack is to live lack. To assume abundance is to live abundance. Why do so many block this law? Because they confuse assumption with wishing. They hope, but they do not embody. They imagine, but they do not claim. To realign, you must become what you desire before it appears. You must walk, breathe, and rest as though the promise is already fulfilled. Let these affirmations be your cloak tonight. I assume wealth, and wealth assumes me. I assume wealth, and wealth assumes me. My mind rests in the certainty of prosperity. My mind rests in the certainty of prosperity. I walk in abundance, for abundance walks in me. My assumption is my reality, and my reality is rich. My assumption is my reality, and my reality is rich. There is a moment in every soul's journey when they must ask, what if I stopped waiting? What if I stopped doubting? What if I simply lived as though it were already done? That moment is the turning point, because when you carry yourself as already prosperous, opportunities recognize you. Wealth does not search for the timid, it responds to the assured. Think of a lantern in the dark. When lit, it does not beg for moths to come. It shines, and the moths arrive. So too, when your assumption glows, circumstances, people, and resources gather around your light. The challenge is not that life withholds from you. The challenge is that you withhold the light of certainty from yourself. Tonight, allow yourself to assume wealth as naturally as you assume the sun will rise. Do not wonder if, do not ask when, simply rest in the knowing it is so. Let sleep carry your assumption deep into the soil of your subconscious, where it germinates, unseen but unstoppable. The impact of this shift is greater than wealth alone. It is freedom. It is the quiet confidence of one who no longer grasps, but simply receives. It is the peace of alignment, the joy of effortless flow. Speak the word, assume the truth, and watch as within 48 hours, life bends to your decree. Your word is your wand, and your assumption is your foundation. Together, they carve rivers through stone, they stir winds across continents, and they shape your destiny. Tonight, let them shape yours into prosperity. The night sky is endless, filled with stars that shine whether you notice them or not. They do not ask for your permission to glow. They do not compete with each other. Each one simply burns with its own certainty. But when you look up, do you ever feel small? Do you ever whisper, "Where is my light? Where is my share?" So many carry this silent ache. The bills pile higher. The promises seem delayed, and the heart begins to wonder if the universe has overlooked them. But let me ask you a question that pierces deeper than doubt. What if you were never out of blessings? What if the river of prosperity has never stopped flowing, but you simply turned your face away from its current? There is a secret the world does not teach, yet it moves beneath all creation like the roots of an ancient tree. The secret is this: you are not kept from abundance. You are kept from alignment. The law of assumption declares that what you inwardly accept must outwardly appear. It is not a question of luck or waiting. It is a question of what you are daring to hold as true when your eyes are closed. Have you assumed lack? Then lack appears. Have you assumed wealth belongs only to others? Then you remain the outside. But when you dare to assume abundance as naturally as you assume the sun will rise, life itself bends to match your belief. Tonight, I tell you plainly, the universe has not forgotten you. Your blessings have not been lost. They are waiting for your assumption to become your invitation. This is the law. It is simple, it is eternal, and it is yours. And yet, so many block it. They pray with their lips but doubt in their hearts. They rehearse words of prosperity but secretly assume delay. They imagine freedom but carry themselves like captives. The blockage is not in the world. It is in the unseen, silent, inward stance of the soul. To realign is to choose assumption deliberately. Walk as though the promise is fulfilled. Rest as though the prayer is answered. Speak as though the gold is already in your hand. Remember this, your word is your wand, but your assumption is the soil in which the wand strikes root. Speak boldly and assume deeply. Now breathe with me, and let these words rest in you like seeds in fertile ground. I assume wealth, and wealth assumes me. I assume wealth, and wealth assumes me. My life is aligned with divine prosperity. My life is aligned with divine prosperity. I walk in abundance, for abundance walks in me. My assumption is my reality, and my reality is rich. My assumption is my reality, and my reality is rich. There was once a woman who lived in shadows of fear. Each day she said, I cannot afford it. Money escapes me. Wealth is for others. And so the law obeyed her words, and her life matched her expectation. One evening she grew weary of lack and chose to speak differently. She began with trembling lips. I am wealthy. I am abundant. At first, the words felt hollow, but she repeated them. She assumed they were true. She acted as though she was already provided for. Within weeks, her circumstances shifted. Opportunities appeared where there had been none. Unexpected income arrived. What had changed? Not the world. She had changed the soil of her assumption. The seed of wealth was always hers. She had finally allowed it to sprout. This is your moment. You can continue rehearsing lack, or you can assume abundance. You can continue waiting for proof, or you can decide tonight that your faith is proof enough. Backstory always begins with fear. The detail is always in the waiting. The challenge is always the doubt. The twist is always the realization that you were never separate from supply. And the impact is freedom, joy, and the peace that abundance brings. Now, how do you live this in daily life? This is not only about midnight affirmations. This is about every word, every thought, every choice. When you reach for your wallet and feel fear, pause, whisper, money returns to me multiplied. When you face an unexpected bill, instead of saying, I cannot, say, I am supported and this is already paid. When you walk into a room of opportunity, do not shrink with thoughts of unworthiness. Assume, I belong here. I am chosen. I am provided for. This is for you who feels forgotten. You are not forgotten. This is for you who wonders if it is too late. It is not too late. This is for you who doubts the power of unseen laws. Doubt no longer. The river is flowing. All that is required is your assumption. Affirm with me once more. I rest in the certainty of prosperity. I rest in the certainty of prosperity. My life is already abundant. My life is already abundant. I am wealth in motion. I am wealth in motion. And now, let us turn to the divine frequency. Just as a violin must be tuned to release harmony, your spirit must be tuned to release abundance. There are vibrations the human ear cannot hear, yet they move mountains and shift oceans. One such frequency is 528 Hz, the tone of miracles, the sound of transformation. You cannot see it, but you can feel it, like the hum of the earth beneath your feet. When you align your subconscious with this frequency, you are no longer begging for wealth, you are resonating with it. Why do people block this? Because they are out of tune. They fill their lives with noise, fear, worry, resistance. They live in the frequency of lack, and then they wonder why abundance does not appear. To realign, you must quiet the noise and tune to harmony. You must allow your inner song to match the song of prosperity. Close your eyes and let these words carry you into rhythm. I am one with divine frequency. I am one with divine frequency. The song of abundance is already within me. The song of abundance is already within me. Every cell of my body vibrates with prosperity. Every cell of my body vibrates with prosperity. Money and miracles resonate with my being. Money and miracles resonate with my being. I once heard of a man who worked tirelessly, chasing money with clenched fists. Yet the more he chased, the further it fled. He was like a musician playing out of tune. His effort was loud, but his song was discord. Then, one night, he sat in silence with the 528 Hz frequency. He let his breath match its rhythm. He whispered words of harmony. He aligned his assumption with its tone. Within days, opportunities began to appear. The clients he had chased now called him. The doors he had pushed now opened without effort. The law of vibration had answered his alignment. This is the twist. Prosperity is not forced, it is tuned. The more you resist, the more dissonance you create. The more you relax into harmony, the more swiftly wealth flows. The fire burns when it is fed. The stars shine when they are still. The frequency works when you surrender. So how does this look in your life? When fear rises, listen to the frequency. When doubt whispers, return to harmony. When you feel the urge to grasp, pause and say, I am already aligned. Apply it in your finances. Instead of panicking, assume the provision is near. Apply it in your relationships. Instead of grasping, allow love to flow naturally. Apply it in your daily work instead of forcing. Align with inspiration. Ask yourself this: are my words in tune? Is my assumption in tune? Is my spirit in tune? If not, do not despair, simply retune. Each night before sleep, let the 528 Hz frequency guide your subconscious into alignment. Each morning, wake with the assumption that the day is already abundant. This is your secret. Timeless and unchanging words and vibrations create reality. You are not chasing wealth, you are aligning with it. You are not begging for miracles, you are vibrating with them. You are not waiting to be chosen, you are already chosen. Take these truths into your heart tonight. Speak the words, assume the wealth, tune to the frequency. Do this not once, but daily, for repetition is power and faith is rhythm. Say it now: I am aligned, I am abundant, I am tuned to miracles. I am aligned, I am abundant, I am tuned to miracles, and so it is. And now, beloved soul, you stand at the edge of a new horizon. You have walked with me through doubt, through fear, through the heaviness of waiting, and you have seen that lack was never your truth. The secret was not that you needed to earn your abundance, not that you needed to plead or strive harder. The truth has always been simpler, deeper, eternal. Alignment is the key. You were not running out of blessings. You were running out of faith in yourself, in your word, in the infinite supply that has already been written into your very being. Tonight, that faith has been restored. Pause for just a moment and feel it in your body. The release of fear, the loosening of doubt, the gentle arrival of peace in your chest. That is alignment. That is the doorway through which money, opportunity, love, and healing flow. Do you not feel it already? Can you not sense that something has shifted? The weight is lighter. The waiting is over. The current has begun to move again, and you are being carried by it into your rightful place of abundance. Remember this: every time you speak words of faith, you are shaping reality. Every time you affirm wealth, health, and divine order, you are planting seeds that must bloom. For your word is not idle. Your word is a wand, drawing into form what you declare with belief. You were created to live free, to live prosperous, to live as a channel of infinite supply. Anything less is not your truth. It is the lie of fear, and tonight that lie has been broken. So take this teaching with you into the silence of your sleep. Whisper the affirmations. Breathe into the frequency of wealth. Awaken each morning with a heart tuned to abundance, and watch as life bends to your faith. This is your moment. This is your turning point. No more waiting, no more lack, only alignment, only overflow, only divine supply rushing to meet you. Now, before you go, anchor this truth in your spirit. Type in the comments right now, I receive it now. Speak it, write it, and let the universe hear your agreement. And if this message awakens something within you, subscribe so you never miss the next divine teaching. For every word is a key, and every lesson opens another gate to your abundance.